All right, guys, got another gear review today. This is an Archery release, index style release. So amongst different Archery releases, there's different kinds. This is index style. There's a thumb button release, which we went over last time, and there's a hinge release, back tension releases. Those all, for the most part, you hold in your hand. Some of those handheld releases, you can get a strap for them. But index style releases always come with a strap that goes around the neck of the release. And you basically just feed your hand right through there. It wraps around your wrist. Put your wrist through it like such, right? Go right in there. And they usually always, look like this, kind of like this upside down V. It's usually just how it works, but it's kind of an upside down V. But so yeah, this happens to be buckle release, buckle style strap. Some of them come with a boa strap configuration or Velcro. There's different kinds, but buckle's usually pretty reliable. So there it is. Put it on there like that. You can there's a little clip here. You can feed the tail in. This is also a TruFire release. The last release review I did was TruFire thumb button as a handheld. This is the TruFire Index release. I think it's called the Hardcore Buckle. So it's a few years old, 4 or 5 years old. Great release. So I mean, it's durable. It's held up through time. Again, I think it's because of the simplicity of the design, the buckle strap, the metal ring here. I mean, it's all pretty durable material. I haven't really had any problems. It's an average price. I think it was $110, $120. So it's not your most expensive, but it's also not the cheapest thing. Okay, features. So obviously you could tighten it, the strap as much as you want. I always go with the tightest setting. So I like to make sure that release doesn't move. It moves minimally under tension, pulling the bowstring back. So we have here hook style release, just like the handheld thumb button we did a review on last time. Same kind of hook style. And it's got a swept back trigger design, so that when you come in and you hook your release on the loop, having a hook design is also a lot easier to kind of just get that release on the string, as opposed to like a caliber where you have to clamp around it. So you kind of get it in there and you just feel that finger right on that swept back design. You just slowly pull, and she breaks. So it's pretty hot. It's not too, there's not a whole lot of play. It goes pretty quick. But when it breaks, the hook kind of flips out and you just click the button to, so it'll be like that once it's broken. And then you just tap it and it goes right back and resets. So you're ready for the next shot. Sometimes it automatically does it though. So yeah, that automatically resets. So as you can see there, the neck is fully extended. I think I have it out as far as it'll go. Comes with a little Allen screw, and you can adjust the length of the neck by twisting that screw there. Just pull it out a little bit, and then you just untwist it to go down, and you can shrink that release pretty good if you want to shorten that up. The benefit of having a shorter release is you can really wrap that index finger around the trigger, creating a natural break and not a force like a trigger punch. So that's pretty short now. Boy, I had it extended about almost 1.5 inches from that, so So now, as short as that is now, we can see the difference. My finger's really getting to wrap around on that. I mean, it's all the way on the front part or the base of my finger. And you can really just, let's try it again. You can really just wrap around there, right? Slowly pull, bingo. Benefit, or the con of having such a short neck though, is you really got to be on your draw length. You cannot fudge your draw length at all. You got to be, it might even shorten it a little bit. I mean you got, like, see the anchor, when you anchor in and you pull back, you're going to be right in between your thumb and your index, right in that crease of your hand. And that is going to sit tight every time, right on your jaw. And you got no play. I mean, if your draw length isn't exactly on the money, you might even have to shorten it a little bit, because you're not going to have, if it's too long, that string is going to come clear behind your nose like that, rather than right at the tip of your nose where you want the string to come to really look through that peep, the peep sight of your bow as clearly as possible. So if you're coming in, and that is really going to be really tight. I mean, I'll show you. I'll take it out on in the field here and shoot a few shots with the shortened and the elongated, and we'll see the difference there. So before we extend the neck out, I want to show you something with that. The nice thing about index style releases is you can really find that anchor point. I feel like MFJJ from Podium Archery, he rants about that a lot, is you can really get a good anchor, whereas with an index or a thumb button, it's kind of like you're holding it like this, and it's not as precise. It's kind of a move. It's an anchor point that can shift a lot easier than when you got your index and you're just tight right in there. Cam Hanes will even put his thumb behind his neck. I'd have to extend this out a little bit further because that's really uncomfortable, but if it was out further, and then he kind of just touches it off, slaps that trigger like such. So one thing about having the release fully extended, I'm going to extend this out again. One thing I like about it, okay, fully extended. Nice thing about that, I'll show you the Cam Hanes again, so I can do it a lot. See, he gets that thumb right behind the neck, like such. You can see that. And then he kind of just, touches it off. But you can see I'm on the tip of my finger. That much is holding the trigger, as opposed to that much when it's shortened, the neck's shortened. So it just depends. I mean, if you like it. The good thing, though, about having a neck that's so long out there is that the good thing about that is you can almost extend your draw length if you want to you want more energy in your shot, you want a greater draw length, greater power stroke. You'll be able to have that peep right on the tip of your nose, and even a little bit more play there to really extend that anchor point. That's the benefit of having a neck, lengthening the neck of the index release. I still feel like a handheld release is going to give you more play, just because it sits on the side of your face, and you have a lot more variability with your draw length than if you're using an index, because your anchor point's just right there in your jaw and you can't really move your head. I mean, you're locked in pretty tight. So just something to think about. So let's go take this to the field I'm gonna tighten this down again. So it's ready to go. Okay. Do some shots. I'll show you the differences between the two lengths. Also, before we go any further, this release in particular, and I had the Wise Guy from Spot Hog, and it folded back, but it was really loose. You could just like whip your hand out and it'd flop right back out. But this, when you fold it back, I mean, that locks into play. I can't whip that out. And it even can rotate to the side. So if you want a glass or whatever you want to do, it's out of the way. I mean, I could have, and you could even tuck it into your sleeve like such. I mean, that's pretty nice for being able to be on the, you know, you're hunting, you're hiking, whatever you're doing. I mean, this is going to be out of the way. It's going to be, you're going to be completely hands-free with this camera release. And when you actually need it, it's right there on your wrist. You don't need to go reaching for it in your pockets or pouches. And you just pull your sleeve up and you can just touch it across your chest even. And then boom, it's out. And then you can just connect that up and you're ready to go. So let's go try this out. Run through some shots and see where we're at. All right, guys, we're out on the field here, and we got our release, index style release, TruFire Hardcore Buckle. You can see the neck is fully extended here. Right here, you can see these little hash marks. That means it's fully extended. And in a second, I'll show you. I'll tighten that up, and it'll be fully retracted. And I'll show you the different anchor points in shooting with that. The pros and cons of each, if you will. Okay, so just kind of right there, loop it on, nice and tight. I forgot there is other adjustability screws right here. Little Allen screws, you can see that, and you can adjust the tension of the trigger. So there's a lot of play before it breaks, or a little bit of play and then it breaks. So there is that. I forgot to mention. Okay, let's get some shots in and see how that anchor point turns out. Okay, see that there? And look how much room I have. The string isn't even touching my nose. So you got a lot of play. So that's the benefit of having a longer neck, is that string. I mean, I was able to keep it even away from my nose. So you could have a really long draw length. Or you could extend your draw length quite a bit if you're using that. We're gonna go ahead and shorten the release here. Tighten that neck up, and I'll show you the difference in the anchor point, where that string comes across your nose. Kind of just loosen that up. Just kind of sucks that in a little bit. A lot shorter. That neck is almost virtually gone there. So let's do another shot here. I'll show you the difference. Watch the string when it comes across my nose. I mean, it almost might even be behind my nose. It's gonna be real tight. So if you really want to shorten up your draw length, you shorten that neck there. So look at that. I mean, it's almost behind my nose. It's hard to keep it in front of my nose. But you can really get that finger around that trigger because it's a lot more in. There you go. So again, difference between that longer neck, that string is barely touching my nose, even further out, increasing my draw length, because I have a good visual of that peep. You tighten that neck up, you definitely have a better control over the shot, with your finger being wrapped more deeply around the trigger. But that string is going to be almost behind your nose, and you're gonna have to kind of pull your head back to get it. So obviously you just gotta play with it, see what's more comfortable for you. What are you trying to look for? You want a tighter, you want a more natural shot angle, I guess, with a deeper grip, or you want to increase that draw length, you want more power, or whatever it is. It's nice that an index release can have so much variability to it, just in lengthening, shortening and lengthening the neck. So again, I prefer to go handheld thumb button. So I feel like if you need to punch a trigger, you have that option with the thumb button. But at the same time, it's handheld, and I feel like you get a better pull, and your anchor is a lot easier. It's easier to increase that draw length if you need to. So this is the review of the TruFire Hardcore Buckle. Stay tuned for more. Catch you on the next one.